Welcome to the May Garden Calendar. In this episode, we will look at what plants will be blooming, what needs fertilizing, what to prune and spray, and also a brief segment on lawn broadleaf weed control. We will look at adding bird baths to your yard, and we'll wrap up with a segment on planting summer garden vegetables. All this and more in this episode of the May Garden Calendar. There are many plants in flower in May, and the list begins with the southern magnolia, the golden chain tree, Coosa dogwood, hybrid rhododendron, mountain laurel, Scotch broom, beauty bush, weigela, gumbo azalea, roses, clematis, honeysuckle, dianthus, sweet william, candy tuft, bearded iris, peonies, coreopsis, poppies, your lady slippers, many summer annuals, and many more. And as you can see behind me, we have the coral honeysuckle that grows great in our area. And you can train it to climb up a tree or a fence post or anything of that nature. Alright, as far as fertilizing goes in May, you need to fertilize your summer flowering plants like crepe myrtle and rose of Sharon this month. And don't forget to mix in your fertilizer when you plant your summer vegetables, and then again come back and side dress 6 to 8 weeks after germination. So the type of fertilizer you can use is a complete fertilizer usually works well, like a 10-10-10. And when you do fertilize plants such as your crepe myrtle, get all your fertilizer under the drip line, not right up against the base. Let's talk a little bit about bird baths in the garden. Although water isn't a limiting component for bird habitat, water may be scarce during dry periods. Birds often get water from their diet, seeds, berries, insects, but during dry periods they are looking for an extra source. Bird baths should be shallow, 2 to 3 inches deep, and made of a rough material where they can have some good footing, and 24 to 36 inches in diameter is good with a rim for perching. Homemade bird baths can be made of a garbage can lid, rocks, a hollowed out stump, just various different items. It's best if it's positioned close to the ground and near a shrub or a tree, 15 feet from a shrub or tree, so a bird feels like it has some cover that it can get to quickly. And it's important to clean out your bird baths once a week. You can clean it out with soap and water or even chlorine bleach, but just rinse it good with plenty of cool water and add fresh water to it weekly so it doesn't become a mosquito habitat and that you do have fresh water for the birds. And then just sit back and enjoy, because this could be a focal point for your bird watching this summer. As far as pruning goes in the month of May, prune your hybrid rhododendrons after they finish flowering this month. Prune any hedges that have outgrown their desired shape. Begin pinching your mums and continue through July to get a good full mum this fall. And do not cut back your spring bulb foliage until it turns yellow and brown, such as your daffodils, your tulips, your hyacinths. If you cut that back, it's not going to have the organs to have photosynthesis and put that energy back into the bulb. So don't cut that back until it turns yellow and brown, and then you can trim it up. Okay, as far as spraying goes in the month of May, spray your following vegetables if insects are observed. your cucumber beetle that may get on your cucumber plant, squash borer on your squash, aphids and whiteflies in your tomatoes, flea beetles on your eggplant, or various worms on broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower. And keep spraying your tree fruits and bunch grapes with the correct fungicide spray program. Use pesticides sparingly and spray only when they're needed. Now's the time to look at some lawn broadleaf weed control. It's time to get out there and spray those broadleaf weeds. Be sure to read the label and wear the appropriate protective equipment like long sleeves, long pants, shoes and socks, rubber gloves, and whatever else the label requires. Be careful not to let that herbicide spray contact desirable plants. The three-way herbicide sprays are the most common broadleaf weed killer used on our tall fescue lawns. They are composed of 2,4-D, dicamba, and MCPP, which is mecoprop. There's several brands out there you might find that in. Some are Bonide Weed Killer, Fertilizing Weed Out, Southern Ag Lawn Weed Killer, Ortho Weed Be Gone, Trimec, Groundwork Weed Killer, Compare and Save Weed Killer, and many others. They'll kill dandelion, such as these, chickweed, which we have here as well, plantain, henbit, nettles, thistle, wild garlic, curly dock, Carolina geranium, and more. If clover is a big problem, which we have that here in this lawn, this spray will often knock that back, but will not really completely kill it sometimes. One truly needs the three ingredients we previously mentioned, plus carfentrazone ethyl. One common brand you find that in is Speed Zone. You really probably need to get that to get a really good kill on clover. Again, that was Speed Zone. Keep a sprayer mixed up and on hand, and spray as needed. It may take a spray every week or two at first to get that lawn under control. But in the end, your lawn will look much, much better. So now's the time to get out there and get at it. Okay, here we are in May, and it's time to plant that summer vegetable garden. Over here on my right, you see I have my spring garden, my cool season crops, cabbage, onions, lettuce, sweet peas, things like that. It's in full swing, and it won't be long before it'll be fading out. But now that we're here in May, past our last frost date, which is usually mid to late April, we should be pretty safe to plant our summer vegetables. Summer vegetables need plenty of sunshine, and they need some good nutrients. We add nutrients and till it in when we plant the garden. Need a pH of 6 to 7. It likes a neutral pH, so you may need to add some lime. Things you can plant are tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, beans, corn, eggplant, squash, both zucchini and yellow squash, okra, cantaloupes, watermelons, pumpkins, sweet potatoes, and more. You can plant either seed or transplant. Some things that do well with transplants are tomatoes and peppers. You can transplant cucumbers and other things, squash, but often they do quite well with seed. When you plant things, please water them well. Your seeds will need a lot of water to germinate, and your transplants are best put out there in late afternoon or early evening at the end of a day, that first day, so as not to shock them, and then water them well. And water them well the first several days you put your transplants out. You'll need to weed your garden regularly. Here on these beds, you can reach over 2 feet easily and weed them regularly, and we planted them pretty dense. That'll shade the sun out easily. So some of these things may need trellising. I do have some pole half-runner beans planted here in some circles. I'll stick some tomato trellis there for trellising. So other plants or vegetables may need trellising, so do so. Add successional plantings, and that means to Like I've started these pole beans here. I'll start another section of pole beans 2 weeks later over there, just so I can have some crops coming in. It's a good thing to have 2 raised beds. These spring crops, they'll be out of here and done in about a month. I'll be adding more warm season vegetables here. I'll be planting more beans, more tomatoes, more peppers in here, things that I will eat off of during the summer. That way I can have things coming in over a long period of time. And then scout your garden for insects and diseases. I go through regularly and look, see if there's an insect or disease or problem. If so, I may treat that with a spray or something. But don't spray just to spray. Do scout your garden for problems and then treat accordingly. And then just sit back, watch it grow, and then harvest them when they're matured. There'll be a lot to add to your plate this summer and while eating it at your home. So it's a great pastime. It's a stress reliever for me, but adds a lot of delicious vegetables to my kitchen table. So get out there, get gardening, and grow your summer vegetables. As far as lawn care goes for the month of May, 2 things. First, we do not want to fertilize our fescue lawns now. If you haven't fertilized them up to this point, just hold off. On mowing heights for your lawn, keep it 3 to 4 inches. Very important. We want to keep our mowing height 3 to 4 inches. That helps for this fescue to shade out our broadleaf weeds and just keep a better lawn overall. Additional tasks for the month of May. One thing you can do this month is you can propagate some of your favorite plants. You can take softwood cuttings from plants like azaleas, rhododendrons, forsythia, clematis, chrysanthemum, and geranium in late May after they have finished blooming. If you have a misting system or a very moist environment to root those cuttings in. Another thing you can do this month is move your house plants outside if desired, as we have our ferns back here. Also, this month, if weather's been dry, please give those favorite plants a good soaking at least once a week. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our garden calendar. If you have questions, call us at 632-4451 or visit us at our website at alexanderextension.com, where there's lots of helpful information and events, and you can also sign up for a monthly newsletter there. That's alexanderextension.com, or stop by and visit us at the Alexander County Service Center at 151 West Main Avenue. Hope to hear from you soon.